Alright, what's up family, back at you. I'm making this video on attachment. Okay, attachment is the root of all suffering. If you haven't heard that before, I'm glad you're hearing it now. Okay, now you might take that wrong and think that, to not be attached to something means you don't love it. That's not the case. There's an old Asian proverb, I don't know if it's Chinese or Japanese, but it talks about when you like a flower, you pick it out the ground, take it with you. But when you love a flower, you leave it in the ground and you admire it. So, attachment is the reason why a lot of people crash out. Because you feel like you can't live without that person or that thing or that circumstance. Because you're too close to it. You can love something without being attached to it. Actually, loving something, being unattached to something or someone, is a show of love. As they say, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back, it's yours. And that goes for everything. I had to learn that a very hard way when me and my children's mother broke up, and I wasn't there every day with my children. I was extremely attached to my children, and rightfully so. They're my babies. But that feeling or level of attachment can breed a lot of depression and pain and anguish and self-pity and resentment. So, I had to remember my teachings and understand that God takes care of my children. God protects my children. God created my children. He uses me as a vessel to do those things as well, but God's the reason my children are good, not me. God's the reason I'm good. God's the reason you're good. So once I unattached from that feeling of worry and I never stopped missing my children. You never stop that, but the level of attachment that I had to having to always be there and rear my children every day, it was taking a toll on me. So I had to let go. And that goes with, I can't tell you how different I am now and how free I am now, because I know that I can, unattach from a person or a situation, and how much power it's given me, because I don't think that's the end all to end all. Usually with attachment, we think we cannot live. We can't go another day without that person or that thing or that, like I said, circumstance. And that's not the truth. My uncle used to always have a saying when it came to women. He said, "I was good before you, I'm good with you, and unfortunately, I'll be good after you." And that's a good way to look at life. Like, hey, I was happy before I met you, or I was okay when I was with you, and if it doesn't work out or whatever, I'll be okay after you. You know what I mean? Because if not, you're gonna end up trying to force things. That's what happens to a lot of people. They try to force situations that God doesn't have planned for you. For whatever reason, God didn't want you in that situation anymore. Take the good, leave the bad, and keep it moving. And live to fight another day. That's what life's about. Life's about living to fight and strive another day. But if you do something stupid, you could take days away from you. You could take days away from somebody else. You could take it can, we know how far things can get, and that's why I'm making this video on attachment, because you have to understand that change is inevitable. Change is going to happen whether you want it or not. So when you embrace it more, you're flowing with the universe. Now you're in flow with the universe instead of combating it. Just like Bruce Lee says, be water, my friend. Flow with things, even if you don't agree with them right then and there. Time heals. Be patient. When you're impatient, God is teaching you to be patient. That's God teaching you to be patient. I'm an Aries. I'm very impatient. So I've had to learn. I had to learn a lot of things, and the hard way. But as I got older and got wiser, I started learning things the easy way. My father used to always say there's 3 different men in the world. There's a dumb man, there's a smart man, and there's a wise man. Now, the dumb man, he makes a mistake, doesn't learn from it, and makes it again. Sound familiar? The smart man makes a mistake, learns from it, and doesn't let it happen again. But a wise man makes a mistake, but a wise man learns from others' mistakes. You get that part? So a dumb man doesn't learn from mistakes, does it again. Smart man learns from his mistakes, doesn't let it happen again. But wise men learn from other people's mistakes. And that's the key right there, you know? Right there on the old index, ring finger, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? Be wise. Learn from other people. You don't have to go down that road. That's what parents do for their children. Hey, listen, there's a lot of potholes and speed bumps on this road. Take this one over here. It might take a little bit longer, but it's going to be a smoother trip. And that's what you want, you know? You want to make your trip as smooth as possible. But when you get caught up and attached to things and attached to people and attached to circumstances and attached to the way life was and attached to the past, you're going down a real slippery slope, a real black hole. And, you don't need that. So remember, attachment is the root of all suffering. It's the root. Everything starts from the root. So think about what that passage means. It's the root of suffering. It doesn't say attachment is suffering. It's the root of suffering. So your attachment grows into other things because you're too close to something. You're too cling. You don't belong to nobody but you. And that goes for everybody. Your spouse, your children, your friends, your family. Only person you can control is you. Remember that too. So if somebody does something that, that messes you over or betrays you, you gotta let that go, man. You can't go too far. Everybody's going too far nowadays, man. Especially in this gun culture that we have now. We're too violent against each other because our feelings are hurt. Yes, your feelings are going to get hurt sometimes. It's called being a human being, being an adult. Get over it. It ain't worth your freedom. It ain't worth your life. It ain't worth somebody else's freedom. It ain't worth somebody else's life. It ain't worth control. That's another thing, too. We got a lot of control freaks out here, and that comes from insecurity. When people want to control, that's because they're insecure in themselves. We should all want everybody to be free and happy. I'm a strict parent in some cases. Some things I don't play with, but I'm a pretty fluent parent with a lot of other things because I want my kids to be kids. Yeah, do I want them to listen and be respectful and, do their chores and, do good in school? Of course. And have manners and etiquette? Yeah. But I'm not also going to, get at them for every mistake that they made. You feel me? I let them know about it. And I tell my children all the time, can't say I didn't tell you, But they're their own person. I can't go inside their body and mind and control them. And no, all I can do is give them the best guidance that I can be, and and watch, and hopefully, through my my faith in God, everything works out. Excuse the noise. I'm outside. And that goes back to not having attachment goes back to faith. Everything goes back to faith. Because faith's the opposite of fear. See, attachment breeds fear. Fear of losing someone, fear of losing something, fear of losing out, What God has for you, God has for you. You just got to be patient and faithful and understand that you can't force everything. I'm not telling you not to take action. I'm not telling you not to fight for what you believe in. If you want to fight for love, that's okay. If you want to, but don't go but so far. Don't cross the line. We all know what the lines are. Sometimes you got to know when to hold them, and you got to know when to fold them. Shout out to all my poker fans. You got to know when to hold them, you got to know when to fold them. I don't gamble, by the way, but, I like the game. Like my father and friends played it, so I grew up around it. But yeah, man, that's life. You got to know when it's time to move. You got to know when it's time to chill. And most times it's time to chill, man. Let things play itself out. Just relax. Be easy, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, if you got attachment issues, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to have issues. It's not okay to not fix those issues. It's not okay not to ask for help. There's plenty of help out here. I'll help you. listen, hit me up in the comments. I'll give you my phone number, whatever. We can talk it out, you know? So that's it. And remember, attachment's the root of all suffering. You truly love something, you know, give it some space. And God will do the rest. Love y'all. Peace.